Horror. This word comes from the Latin verb
orrere,
meaning to shiver or to tremble. Think back to the last time you truly felt fear. Did you get the chills? Did you start to feel nauseous or lightheaded? Or maybe the hairs on your body started to stand up. This is a feeling most people don't ever want to feel, but some of us chase after it. I am one of these people. I've played through many different horror games over the years and heavily enjoyed the genre. Not much scares me anymore, but there's one game in particular I just never had enough courage to finish. This game made me scream louder than any game I've played before, and after failing countless attempts, I don't even want to touch it with a 10-foot pole. No other horror game has ever made me feel like this, and I don't know if one ever will again. Today is the day that we'll conquer this demon, but before we do, let's talk about it. Akamano was developed and published by the small indie game studio Chilla's Art. They are well known for creating Japanese horror games that have a retro style to them. The company consists of two brothers, with the older one in charge of 3D related work and the younger brother in charge of programming the games. The brothers take inspiration from Japan's eerie scenery, such as the lonely telephone booths and vacant tunnels. Akamano is a 6-game Chilla's Art release and is inspired by the Japanese urban legend of the same name. Akamano started out as a schoolyard rumor that eventually spread its way throughout Japan. The first occurrence of these rumors date back as early as the 1930s. Akamano is a masked spirit who wears a long red cloak. He appears to those using public restrooms and school bathrooms, with his main target being young women. If you're unlucky enough to meet him, he'll knock on your bathroom stall and ask you a simple question: red paper or blue paper? Picking either option here ultimately results in your life ending. If you decide to pick the red paper, laceration will be your cause of death, with your body being covered in blood and nearly unidentifiable. Picking the blue paper will lead to asphyxiation and all the blood being drained from your body. If you think you're smart asking for a different colored paper, you'd be sadly mistaken. Asking this question will result in you being dragged to the underworld never to be seen again. Your only true hope of surviving Akamano after he finds you is to ignore him and reject taking the papers. This is where our story begins. Our protagonist is forced to spend the night at an abandoned school after getting too close to their classmate Mako's boyfriend. In order to progress, we need to make our way into the school. Since the main doors to the school are locked, we need to take the door on the side of the building. After entering the school, you have no way back out, due to the door being possibly blocked off. After entering the bathroom, you can find a stall asking you the dreaded question: red paper or blue paper? The blue paper has already been taken, meaning someone was here before us. The question now is, did they survive? In this stall is the old key, which allows us to access the rest of the first floor. The first room in this hallway is a storage closet of some sorts. In here you can grab a lighter from the dresser, allowing us to see in dark areas. There also appears to be a vent in this room blocked off by some wood. If you make your way down to the end of the hallway, you can find an unlocked classroom. In here you can grab a crowbar, which allows us to remove the wood blocking the vents we just saw. And this is where your freedom begins. Your main goal in this game is to avoid the mass killer Akamano, all while trying to escape the school alive. To do this, you'll need to explore around the school, find a bunch of items, and even solve some puzzles. When Akamano is nearby, you will start to see Japanese characters appear on your screen while a faint heartbeat starts to play. When he gets really close to you, you'll instead see static, which is paired with a loud distorted moan. If you start to see or hear any of this, your best bet is to run away and find a place to hide. Around the school you can find lockers, cabinets, and even bathroom stalls to hide in, but these will only work if you're not in a chase to begin with. Another useful tip to know is Akamano can't enter the vents. This makes it a great place to keep your items and to hide. Now if he does manage to find you, you'll hear a loud ass scream and a fast-paced heartbeat. At this point, your only option is to run. Luckily, your stamina bar doesn't go down much at all during the chases, probably due to adrenaline. You also need to watch out for these red portals scattered around the school, which allow Akamano to teleport. If you think Akamano is your only threat, then you're sadly mistaken. On the second and third floor, a glowing mask roams the halls, and if it sees you, it will alert Akamano to your location. In the vents, you can find a centipede that randomly travels throughout its maze-like pathways. If you run into it, it'll make a loud hissing noise and then proceed to attack you. There's also some spiders that appear on the school floors once you reach a certain point of the game. When you run into them, they trap you in place, forcing you to mash out of their grasp. Another way to deal with them is with bug spray, which is found in the second floor girls' bathroom. Lastly, there's this harmless enemy that is just meant to give you a scare. What in the f*** did this person eat? As you reach the halfway point of the game, Akamano starts to get frustrated and becomes stronger. This is conveyed to the player with a loud growl. When this happens, Akamano moves much faster and becomes much more aggressive. His appearance slightly changes as well, with his cloak being a darker red and his mask having a more ominous look to it. If you start to take a lot of damage, you can actually find healing items around the map. These come in the form of energy drinks and band-aids. No matter what health you're at, healing items will always bring you back to full health. Now, one problem I do want to mention is the lack of inventory space in this game. This is a huge issue in my opinion. You only have 3 inventory slots to work with, and one slot will almost always be a lighter. This makes it hard to carry everything you need, so you always want to find a spot in the school to stash your items. I usually put my items in the vents just because Akamano can't get me there. There are 2 different endings of this game, a bad ending and a good ending. First, we'll cover the bad ending. On the second floor, there's a science room which has an incomplete anatomy model in it. Graffiti's on the ground that reads, "Bring me the 7 parts." These include a nose, brain, left arm, right arm, organ, eyes, and a rib cage. These parts are scattered all around the school and aren't too difficult to find. After collecting all the anatomy parts, you can place them in the anatomy model. This will give you a rope which can be used to escape from the roof of the building. But before you can leave, you need to help this mysterious girl. She's hungry, so you need to go and grab her some food. There's a vending machine in the cafeteria that dispenses an item every time you deposit 100 yen into it. In total, you need 300 yen to get a kopepan and some milk, since the first item you get from the machine is a band-aid. After grabbing the 2 items, you can go back up to the door and hand her the food. The girl's name is Nagisa, and she appears to be a spirit of some sort, making me feel like she's the one who grabbed the blue paper and never got out. After handing her the food, she opens the door to the roof, allowing us to escape with the rope we were given. This ending results in our character running to a police station to report what happened at the school. Even though the police don't believe our story, they decide to investigate the school anyways and find no evidence of Akamano's existence. The police suggest we walk home and get some rest since we may be imagining things. On our walk home, our character contemplates if what we saw was real or just our imagination. Later on the news, we see a female high school student was murdered by an unknown serial killer named the Slasher. She was slashed multiple times with her body being unidentifiable from the damage, which clearly seems to be the work of Akamano, meaning he's still out there. The news report finishes with the police advising everyone to avoid traveling alone, especially during the night. Now let's talk about the good ending. In the first floor hallway, there's a classroom that is being held shut by a dark spirit. In order to open this door, you need to grab the Ofuda talisman, which is located in a dresser in the third floor library. Placing this on the door opens up the classroom, which is actually a shrine room. The shrine in the middle of the room houses the 7 papers found around the school. You need to find the red paper, indigo paper, orange paper, blue paper, yellow paper, purple paper, and green paper. Once all the papers are placed in the shrine, you can grab the Kusanagi no Tsurugi, which can be used to stab Akamano and kill him for good. After killing Akamano, our character stares at the body for a little while in disbelief. Realizing what we've done, we suddenly break from our trance and hurry home to get some rest. The next day at school, our character feels like everything could have been a bad dream, but the ringing sensation in her hand says otherwise. Unaware of what exactly happened, we decide to go back to the school. After returning to the school, everything appears to be just as we left it, except for one jarring detail. Akamano's corpse is nowhere to be found. Our character leaves the school and lays in bed staring into the darkness, trying to make sense of everything that happened that night. Due to us killing Akamano, mysterious slashings have completely stopped in the area. This caused rumors about the slasher's disappearance to circulate between teenagers, turning it into an urban legend. The name for this legend would end up being Akamano, with no one knowing if the legend is based on true events or just made-up tales. While exploring the school, you can also find audio recordings. There are 10 of these located around the school that explain the story of how Akamano came to be. The story is as follows. The recordings follow a boy by the name of Atsushi, who is a transfer student to a new school. He starts to get bullied by the principal's kid, Kobayashi, so he reports this to the guidance counselor of the school, Nakajima. Nakajima gives Atsushi a tape recorder so he can get concrete evidence of the bullying. But instead, Atsushi uses it to record his bad home life. His dad, who's a respected politician, beats Atsushi on a regular basis. After getting a recording of the beatings, he shows Nakajima. Nakajima tells Atsushi that he can't help him, most likely due to his dad's power as a politician. The beatings end up getting worse, with Atsushi getting struck across the face by his dad. This was Atsushi's last straw and caused him to end his own life. His body found completely cut up. Tanaka, a co-worker of Nakajima, tells Nakajima about the death of Atsushi. We also learn that Atsushi's dad was found dead the same way as Atsushi, with no one knowing how he died. Tanaka then uses the bathroom when he hears a knock on the door, with a voice asking the question, red paper or blue paper? Tanaka, frustrated, picks the blue paper and sees who he believes to be Atsushi, wearing a red cloak and a white mask. This is how the story ends.
Still in there?
Akamano is so much more than just another horror game. It's a short, well-crafted, terrifying experience. The mix of anxiety and uneasiness you feel throughout the whole game is unrivaled to anything I've ever played. Even just roaming the halls is unsettling, knowing very well Akamano could be right behind the next corner. If you're a fan of the horror genre at all, you absolutely have to check this game out. You will not be disappointed at all. Trust me. I even made some of my friends try this game. I'll play their reactions now.
Am I tweaking or is there something down
I
there?
thought I saw her. I don't
I
know.
saw her. Yeah, I thought I saw it too. I ain't gonna lie. I think it's like your lighter almost like bugging out.
Man, I don't want to play this game.
That's the mask.
Oh! No! 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 No!
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Holy shit! Oh my god! Holy shit! Oh
Okay.
What the fuck? Okay, dude. Oh, I forgot! I didn't know! Oh shit! Let me in! Let me in! Ah, fuck my butt! Ah, no! No! Donald Trump, please save us!
Bro.